Hello. Now I would like to introduce Julia Kaganskiy and Ciel Hunter from the Creators Project. Let's have a big round of applause.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name's Julia. I'm the global editor of the Creators Project.
And my name's Ciel Hunter. I'm the creative director of the Creators Project.
And I'm really excited to have this discussion about the Creators Project with Ciel today because although I've been involved with the project for the past year and a half, I wasn't around for its inception back in 2009 when Intel and Vice got together and were having discussions about how they could create a new celebration about art and technology. And I know that some of those early conversations were really focused about forging a new model for supporting contemporary creativity. And the way that that model has manifested in the Creators Project is, our blog, our web video series, our traveling event series, our studio program, which actually works with artists on developing new work, as well as meetups, workshop panels, and an online gallery where a community can display their own work. But what sort of need were you hoping to fill with this new model, and what were you guys thinking about in those early conversations?
Well, the Creators Project really is a global celebration of arts and technology. And, when it was starting, we were looking at all these different areas. So music, film, media art, and trying to pull from them rather than necessarily going in and needing to redefine an area or be the best in an existing space. What we wanted to do instead was be inspired by these areas and take the best of that to create a new forum, a new platform that bridges all these different genres and can be really a forum for positive discussion, for discovery, and also for showcasing artists. One of the things a lot of people ask is, what is the theme of the Creators Project? Is there a theme? It's really nothing more than how technology and computers specifically have revolutionized the arts and the creative process. It's everything from seeing how it's democratized it. Anyone can make an album or a film on their laptop now, to how it's created new modes of expression where artists are making amazing things and their tool is code, such as Aaron Koblin, who we just saw. And we really wanted to make this platform to showcase this spectrum of artists and their works. One other thing that we looked at a lot when we were creating this project was really the challenges and benefits of the digital era for distributing artworks and also for how you engage with the media that artists create. So because of that, we made this multi-tiered project where there's the website with a video series where you can go deep into the work of artists, but it's so important to us to also have a very human component, which is why we have this event series, meetups, and workshops where you can engage with the works on a one-on-one level, but also really see the breadth of the project in one setting.
And I think, obviously it's a very timely and relevant project because now, anyone can engage with this creative process with the help of the computer age that we're in. But, why would someone like Intel want to get behind a project of this kind?
Intel's an interesting brand, I think. They're almost invisible in a sense. The processors are in every computer almost that artists are really using to create, and they're also in the laptops that we use when we watch videos and everything online, and yet they're not really aligned with the creative space. So one of the challenges and hopes of this project was to figure out how to bring a brand like Intel closer to creativity. And what I really like about it is they took a risk. This wasn't traditional marketing. This wasn't putting a logo on something. They really wanted to add value in the sense of creating an initiative that would support artists and then creating a platform to distribute content and works to a broader audience.
It's funny, a lot of people have been saying for a while now that brands are kind of the new Medicis. And I think, it has a ring of truth to it. But I know that you work with Intel really, really closely and that it is sort of a partnership, as you said. What's the distribution of that role like? How do you guys work together?
Well, you hit on it. It's not a sponsorship. It's 100% a partnership with Intel. They came to Vice for, our voice, our creative input, how we talk to youth. We run the project just around the corner here in our Vice office in Brooklyn. But they've been a partner every step of the way. They help us to grow the project, they help us to tell the story globally, and what's been really amazing is they've really embraced the artists in a really genuine way that has been, really inspiring. We work with a lot of emerging artists in the program, and there's an upcoming MC in Brazil named Emicida and an amazing young film director in Korea named Lumpins. And they've been in the project since day one, and what's been great is that even though they weren't superstars, Intel got to know them, and they're really helping them in their careers now, from giving them the hardware they never had access to before, to just new opportunities outside of the Creators Project. And that's the model that I think is working really well with this project, because it is a genuine partnership. The other side of that is, we're also working with the labs and the artists. So Intel engineers are now working with a variety of artists, helping them with the challenges that a small studio might have rendering a ton of media. Can they provide hardware to help with that, even expertise, to new products that artists are now playing with in their works. And what they're getting from that is this really interesting insight from a whole new group who are using their products. I think a lot of times Intel thinks on business and education and efficiency, and it's been really gratifying for them to hear what an artist might think of this new tool that they're creating. And then the other side of the partnership, it's Vice. It's been amazing for us as a company too. We've gotten to grow a lot through this and do completely different things than we've ever done. We never have done a huge event for 75,000 people until we did the main stage of the Coachella Music Festival. And we're also working with bands and artists that we've loved for so long. So Arcade Fire, Animal Collective, these artists that have meant so much to us, and now we're able to help them do new projects, get new opportunities, find new, audiences around the world. And that's probably one of the most exciting things out of this whole project.
I totally agree. Those types of partnerships that we've had with the artists actually working on developing new works has been the most amazing part of this project and watching it unravel this year. And that's through our studio program, which was just introduced this year and debuted at Coachella with, some of the bands and visual artists that you mentioned. Can you tell us a little bit about the studio and why it was kind of imperative for you guys to support artists in this really tangible way and, really putting our money where our mouth is?
Well, it actually came out of just talking to a lot of the artists when we first met them and started doing the documentary profiles on them in 2010. They were telling us about these projects that they haven't been able to get funding for and all these ideas that they want to realize. So finally we were like, well, let's help you do it. So it's really a grant program. Artists will pitch ideas, we'll give them the funding for it, they own the works outright. The Creators Project provides a platform for distribution through our global event series and also through our website. We tell the story through documentaries and our blog and keep getting the word out about the works. And then we help produce it in varying degrees depending on what an artist needs. We've done a variety of projects so far, everything from music videos for Neon Indian and battles to sculptural pieces. We're working on some short films. It's been across the board. The only theme to it, there's no category or theme that you really have to fit into besides how an idea really represents that innovation with technology that is at the core of the project. And what's been interesting is we're seeing that because it's a really broad project, people are coming to us with pet projects, so to speak. That idea that they've had for maybe years but haven't had the right place to do it because it's not a traditional music video or traditional short film. So, for example, Karen O of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs had a psycho opera that she wrote 7 years ago. It's a little bit of film, a little bit of music, a little bit of theater, and never had the right supporting partner to release it. So we just produced that for this fall. And I think it's this sort of broad of a creative space that really helps a project like that. Another example that I love and one of my personal favorites is a work that Jonathan Glazer, the film director, had with Jay Spaceman of the band Spiritualized. Now, there's the Spiritualized track, Ladies and Gentlemen, We're Floating in Space. And when it came out, apparently Glazer had an idea for the track, but it wasn't a music video, and that's the forum he was working in right then. So finally, we were talking to him earlier this year, and we were like, well, maybe a sculpture for the piece. And he worked with his technical team, one of us, amazing group in London, and then also with this amazing architecture firm from LA called Undisclosable, and they created what they call an alien cathedral that housed this just pristine, beautiful light and sound sculpture of this track. And it was projects like this where we were suddenly like, whoa, like this project has a lot of potential, because who knows who else has these ideas that need the technical side to bring it to life, and this more, I guess, broader platform for these works to exist within.
That work really was kind of the most transcendent piece of this year, I think. But another one of my favorites is actually the sculpture by United Visual Artists. You can actually see their cube in its Dumbo incarnation on the screens. But this project was really interesting because it debuted at Coachella as the main stage. And this was a new frontier for the United Visual Artists, who are a relatively well-established design studio out of London, but they really kind of pushed themselves creatively into new sort of architectural territory on a scale that they've never done before. So can you tell us a little bit about that particular collaboration and how it came about?
Yeah, this was another partnership, actually. The Creators Project is really built on this idea of partnership, as you can tell. And this was a creative partnership with the Coachella Music Festival. They invited us in a really amazing, close way to work on how to reinvent their festival, in a sense. So we were talking about what to do. Do you put another artwork on the grounds? Do you just work with bands on the stage? And instead wanted to try to turn the stage itself into the most technologically forward and just largest installation at the entire festival. United Visual Artists pushed us on giving them the chance to do this. They are really a light-based studio. They do so many different types of works, but had never done something this massive before. So finally, through a lot of work to get it done, it turned into this amazing cube, even bigger than what you see behind me, that would open to reveal a performance space for the bands, and then close and turn into its own performance piece in between the sets. And then it toured the world in different forms. They re-envisioned it just about every 2 months this year until they finally created the version that you see here. And we actually have a little video. We document all the artworks that we do and try to match the style of the work with how we're doing the video piece. So we have a little video of them talking about the New York version. If we're ready for the video.
Is there a sound?
Not the right sound. Can you kill the music?
feel they can exist without the other. I really enjoy, actually, one stage of the work I've enjoyed is the kind of dormant state when it sleeps. There's a sense of it just breathing, as if this monster is about to erupt any moment, and every now and then it erupts, but then it comes back down again. And I like it because there's a sense that something is going to happen, but you're not sure what.
All right, that's good. What was in the beginning of that piece, actually, that might have been a bit hard to hear, is the director of United Visual Artists discussing the piece too. But this, along with all of the documentaries that we do, are on the website, and definitely encourage you to explore. We have over 150 artists documented so far on the site. But as you can see, this one was at our New York City event, which just took place in Dumbo in October, and it was really the pinnacle so far for the Creators Project, and really one of the largest things we've ever done as Vice as well. It was a true cultural festival, is how we like to term it. It was very open, free to the public, and just amazing to see that people would come. We had 15 bands, Florence and the Machine, Justice. People came for those headliners, but stayed to see all of the installations. We had 14 different installations from artists from around the world, many of them original works created through the studio, panels, workshops, films, Karen O's psycho opera. And it was really amazing to see just the variety of audience and also how people engaged with the works across the board. And you can even see people brought their families, babies were there. It's a new theme for Creators Project. But that openness was really exciting, I think.
And I really like to think of this project as kind of a gateway, introducing new people to this new form of expression, because me personally monitoring the traffic that was happening on Twitter, on Instagram, on the blog, people were talking about the bands before the event, stoked for justice and this and that. But when they actually got there, the artwork was really the center of attention. And I really think it's something that they probably wouldn't have sought out on their own, wouldn't have even thought that they were interested in. But it was ultimately what inspired them and what captured their imagination in this really vivid way. And I think something that we haven't really touched upon much, but our goal, I think, is to inspire this community that already exists, but then also to introduce new people to this sort of creative community. And because it is democratic and anyone with a laptop can really engage, really kind of putting those seeds of inspiration in there. And we're constantly looking to support emerging artists and to discover them via our blog, via our online gallery, via the studio submissions that we receive on the site. And the goal, I think, is to continue sort of growing the scope of this contemporary creative outlet as much as possible.
Yeah, that's really, at the end of the day, what we are excited by with this project, and what we hope is that it will continue to inspire other artists, inspire emerging artists who see the works of some of these people, inspire the audience to explore new genres they maybe didn't know before, but also, if it could inspire other brands to try working in this different way with the arts. It's so hard to find funding for artworks right now, and it would just be so amazing for us if this can happen more and more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.